Hi everyone, I hope you're having a good week this week. Before I get into our video, I have a few announcements, and before I say any happy birthdays, this week's video is going to be a little bit shorter. It's just a quick story, so I'm going to get into that after. And before I do, I want you to know that next week there won't be a video from me, but instead we're going to have a virtual sports day. So there's going to be a week of lots of activities and things, so be sure to check that out. So I won't be having any videos up next week, just in case you're looking out for them. The other thing is, oh yeah, very important, happy birthday. I'm recording this video on a Thursday, but this Colleen in my class, her birthday is on Friday the 12th of June, and I wanted to pick a background that kind of showed a nice drawings, because this girl in my class is so good at drawing, and she always draws such beautiful pictures. And so happy birthday to you, Alyssa. I'm sorry we won't be able to celebrate your birthday in school, but I'm sure you're going to have a lovely day with your family. So enjoy your birthday. Big happy birthday to you. So without further ado, just keep watching and we're going to get into the story.
So this story is called Whatever the Weather, and it's going to focus a little bit on the different seasons that we go through in a year. So there are 4 seasons, and I wonder, can you name each of them in order? So it's usually goes spring, then summer, then autumn, and then winter. So the seasons are going to be mentioned in this story, and I wonder, will you be able to recognize them by the weather? Because the weather is very different for every season. Because in summer we have very different weather to winter when it's much colder. Okay. And one of the main characters in this story has the same name as someone in my class, so you'll figure it out in a moment. Okay. Millie's mum pulled into the driveway of her best friend's house. They had been best friends since they were babies. Keisha had just moved house, and this was Millie's first visit to her new home. The drive hadn't taken long, which was good because Millie didn't want her friend to be too far away. Keisha and her mum were waiting at the front door when they arrived. Millie dived out of the car and raced to give Keisha a huge hug. Both mums laughed because the girls had seen each other just the other day before at school, but they were acting like they hadn't seen each other for years. The mums headed into the kitchen to catch up as the girls raced upstairs. "You've got to see my new room," Keisha said excitedly. Her new bedroom was huge, but was buried under a sea of boxes and clothes. One wall was covered in a new pattern wallpaper, while the other 3 were waiting to be painted. "Unpacking isn't much fun, but I did find this," Keisha said as she pulled out a big blue photo album. She opened the book, and it says contents. So that's what you usually see at the start of a book, tells you what's on the inside. Page 1, summer holiday. Page 2, camping. Page 3, snow. Page 4, flying kites. Page 5, walking in the park. "Our photo album," gasped Millie. "I thought it was lost." The 2 friends settled down on the edge of the bed, resting the dusty album across their laps. The first photo was of Keisha and Millie happily making a huge sand castle on a sunny beach. They both wore big floppy hats to protect them from the sun. I wonder what season this one is. Even in the picture, you could see the thick layer of sun cream their mums had put on. Millie was wearing a pair of bright pink sunglasses, and Keisha wore a pea green swimsuit. "That holiday was so much fun," smiled Millie as she turned the page. On the next page, there were photographs from their camping trip last year. Both girls wore wellies, which were caked in mud. Despite it pouring with rain the whole weekend, they hadn't stopped smiling. So it's rainy outside. I wonder what season this one is. Even though they had gone in the spring, it had been very cold, so they had warmed up their gloved fingers with delicious hot chocolate made on their campfire. Oh, gave away the answer there. It's spring. And you can see little baby lambs there. See the sheep and the baby lambs? That's a big sign that it's spring when new babies are born as well, and lots of flowers and green. It was hard keeping the fire alight in all that rain, remembered Keisha. Wonder what season this one is in. The third page made the girls giggle. There were lots of photos from when it had snowed lots 2 years ago. The school had closed for the day, so Millie and Keisha had been sledging with their dads. They couldn't remember the cold, just how much fun they'd had building snowmen and throwing snowballs at their dads. They had wrapped up warm in coats, hats, gloves, and thick socks to stop their toes turning into icicles. That was the best day ever, smiled Millie. Do you remember the day in school when it started snowing at the window? I remember that day, and I remember saying it was snowing and everyone looked out the window. It's very exciting when it starts to snow. When Keisha turned the page, they both burst out laughing. The pictures were of the day they flew kites. Well, tried to fly kites. The wind was so strong, it was hard to stand up straight. Comfy woolen jumpers and jeans had kept them warm enough, but their cheeks were rosy red from the wind lashing at them. It was so funny when your kite got stuck in the tree, giggled Keisha. The last photograph was from just a few weeks ago. The girls had been on a walk with their mums and Keisha's dog, Reggie. The park had been covered in red and orange leaves, and the girls had searched through them for fallen conkers. Conkers are a big sign. It gives you a good hint as to what month this photo is taken in. I remember some people in my class brought in conkers during the year, but it wasn't now during the summer, and it wasn't during the winter. So there's 2 hints. There had been a thick layer of cloud in the sky, blocking the sun and making the day look more like evening. Their mums had insisted that the girls wore layers and a woolen hat each, but all the running around with Reggie had kept them toasty warm. I hope we can walk Reggie again with you soon, said Millie. That's as far as I've got, said Keisha, closing the album. It's brilliant, Millie said, smiling. I can't wait to see the next pages when they're done. For the next few hours, Millie and Keisha unpacked boxes of Keisha's clothes. They giggled as they dressed up and acted out the photographs from the album. Before long, Millie's mum called up the stairs and said it was time to go home. Before you go, Keisha said quickly, why don't we do something for the next page? They put on as many clothes as they could find and ran downstairs. Keisha's mum took a picture while they posed and giggled. Look, there's Reggie in the background, fast asleep. Reminds me of Sandy. Send me a copy, Millie yelled as the car pulled away from the drive. Don't worry, I'll bring one when I come to your house tomorrow, Keisha said, waving goodbye and smiling. And that's the end of our story for today.
Okay, so that's the end of our video for this week, and thank you so much for watching. If you missed my video last week, it's a science video with my sister. I'm just going to put it right here where my finger is. So you can click into that now if you want to. In that video, I completely forgot to mention the answer to the guess the background thing from the last video, and it was the Lego movie. I'm sure a lot of you got that one. This background's a little bit trickier. I'm not sure if you recognize it. It's from a movie. I really like that movie. We kind of have something on our door in our classroom to do with it. That's a hint. And I'm going to give you the answer to it in this video because we won't have a video next week, and the answer is up. Okay, so well done if you got that one. I hope you have a lovely week next week, and I will talk to you all again soon. Bye.